In my last Harry Potter video, I proposed the notion that Harry is not as special as he first may appear, both to the reader and the magical community within the story.
But I am the chosen one.
Much of the friction from the antagonistic relationship between Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort stems from this disillusionment. This is due to one of the keystones of Voldemort's characteristics as a villain, his humongous ego. From a grander perspective, this story is about an evil, all-powerful wizard facing resistance from a rather ordinary boy who is thought to be able to match his abilities, although in reality cannot. But to the chagrin of the almighty wizard, the ordinary boy seems to always get away with it anyway. Lord Voldemort, or his previous name, Tom Riddle, had always been looked upon as special, different from those around him. Whether it was from being a feared freak growing up at the orphanage or being the most talented student at Hogwarts, admired by his peers, favorited by his teachers. Whether these feelings towards him were positive or negative did not matter to him, as long as he was recognized as better and more unique. Tom was pleased. At the orphanage, after Dumbledore reveals to Tom that there are more like him, one of the first things he eagerly finds out is that his ability to communicate with snakes is even uncommon amongst the wizarding folk.
I can speak to snakes too. They find me. Whisper things. Is that normal for someone like me?
So after finding out there are more like him, the first thing he does is to try to sniff out something that makes him special, even amongst the special. It is very telling of his egomaniacal nature. When Voldemort hears about Trelawney's prophecy indicating that a newborn will grow up to challenge him, Voldemort immediately tries to remove the threat. But why does he do this? Is it really because he fears what Harry one day could become? It seems to be the obvious answer, but I never really bought it. I suppose this follows in the same line of thinking that Voldemort greatly fears death, which is something that is brought up a lot in the story. However, this is also something I never really believed in, or at least not to be his main motivation. I mean, he is the most darkest, evil, conniving, whatever wizard of all time. Everyone wants to kill him. And is that really what you want to inspire if you don't want to die? No, I think this goes back to his ego that I've been talking about. Voldemort does not want to remove Harry because he might become a threat to his life. He wants to remove him because he does not tolerate the idea of having an equal. He wants to be alone at the top. He doesn't want to share the spotlight. He already hates how people claim that Dumbledore is equally or more powerful than him. Voldemort's assassination fails and Harry Potter becomes a legend, known as the boy who lived and defeated Voldemort as merely a baby. This makes Voldemort furious. Throughout one singular instance, Harry has been launched up to the same level of notoriety as Voldemort, and at his expense. In the minds of the people, this mere baby is thought to be just as powerful as Voldemort himself. Throughout the story, Voldemort is obsessively trying to finish the job of murdering Harry Potter. He is also very adamant that he personally has to be the one to do the deed. The prophecy is the reason for this, but I question that it doesn't go more personal than that. Voldemort wants to prove his superiority. He wants to prove how insignificant Harry is, that he is special and Harry is not. But every time Harry manages to escape his clutches, the legend grows stronger. It is hard to not notice the similarities between Harry and Voldemort's background. They both grew up around Muggles, not knowing their true origin. They were both badly mistreated. To both characters, the invitation to Hogwarts was the best thing that ever happened to them. Yet, they took such different paths in life. Could Voldemort's ego and Harry's humbleness be the key difference to their fate? Harry arrived to Hogwarts almost as a mythic hero, but wished he could be nothing more than an ordinary student next to his classmates. Voldemort, however, came to Hogwarts with the ambition to prove himself superior than everyone else. Both characters' prior experience with Muggles were pretty horrible. For Voldemort, it turned into a lifelong hate, a quest for symbolic vengeance to those who wronged him in the past. Harry, though, quickly identifies that just because Muggles like his uncle, aunt, and cousin are terrible people does not mean the same applies to all Muggles or bears any ill wills to them. Voldemort's ego from his childhood just never let him forget about his past. Someone just had to pay for it. As a conclusion, I think this theme of being extraordinary or special versus not being, and the perception of it, is an important one to this story. That this ego-driven search to reach this higher level is central to Lord Voldemort's character and the relationship he forms with the protagonist of the story. And that in the end it could very well be that this personality trait is what ultimately separates these two characters from becoming hero or villain.
Come on, Tom. Let's finish this the way we started it. Together.
Thanks for the watch. Follow me on Twitter for information on upcoming videos. Remember to subscribe for more content. Hejdå!